Wait, there's something very weak coming through.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Todd Hoffman, and this is WSTR Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 145. Today, we are going to be talking about, can we survive the fan reaction of the Rise of Skywalker? But we brought some friends today. We're talking with Tatooine Sons, David, the Bowtie Jedi guy, Samuel the Hutt, and BB Nate. Welcome to the show, guys.
Woo! Thanks for having us. We're really pumped to be here.
It's happening. We've had a couple false starts, but this is like literally happening right now. So,
it is.
Yes. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for being patient. I hope it's worth the wait.
It will be. I promise.
Okay.
I promise. Joining me today, as always, Miss Heather Allred.
Hey, everybody. I'm excited to be back.
And Aaron has the night off, but we have our newest member to WSTR crew, Miss Carla Giacalone.
Hi, everyone.
Carla,
I'm so excited.
Yeah. It's like officially, you're in the club. You're in the club.
I love it. I'm so happy.
Secret handshake and all that. So we're glad to have you on board, Carla. All right, we stick around with us. We got to pay some bills. It ain't easy living with a price on your head. You can find everyone except Aaron on social media at WSTRmedia. Not .com, just WSTR Media. You can email us at mailbox@WSTRmedia.com. See, there was leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. Operators are standing by. You can leave a voicemail and then hear your gorgeous voice blasted across the galactic holonets. And if you do that, you get a sticker. So please chime in, and we will love to hear from you. Our entire back catalog of episodes and all the links can be found at podcast.wstrmedia.com. Have you heard of Audible? Because we have. There is literally 425,000 titles to choose from. You can get your free 30-day trial at audibletrial.com/WSTR. Geez, /. I'm having trouble speaking. I don't know what's going on. You can also, they have a free Audible choice, a book you could choose. And then they have these things called Audible Originals. And you can choose not one, but two Audible Originals. And of course, they are exclusively to Audible. So check that out. And of course, it's October, so they're kind of spooky. So check them out. Again, that is audibletrial.com/WSTR to try your free Audible book today. We got merch, store.WSTRmedia.com. Okay, we're going big or go home. We are on Patreon now. So patreon.com/WSTR Media. You can check out our levels, and we would love to have you join. And we got some cool stuff coming up. So, just check that out and
do it.
Yeah,
just do it.
Just do it. All right, Heather.
Yes.
Use that news.
Hopefully, Heather doesn't have a coughing fit. Okay, teasing the news. Did someone say dates? And then we have legit crying. So not the fake crying, the legit crying. And then the last one, say what?
Wow. That's pretty deep.
Right. I tried to get up there as say what? I don't know. We'll see how it works. We'll see what it means. All right. Carla, you are now officially part of this. So why don't you take the intercepted Imperial transmission?
All right.
Senator! Intercepted Imperial transmission, Mom.
So, this is an email, and it says, "Hey, WSTR. I like to listen to audiobooks, and I am in need of a new listen. I'm curious about Star Wars books. The only Star Wars books that I have ever read however, were the Young Jedi Knight series, and that was a long time ago. I was wondering if you could recommend some good Star Wars books to check out, perhaps even something from your recent guest. Thanks. And that is from Matt Swardstrom. I got it.
Got it.
All right. So book suggestions.
Yeah, Carla, you're an avid reader. What do you think?
Well, I just finished Thrawn Treason, so I would
Okay.
definitely recommend that whole series because it's great.
That's good.
And then I would say probably Catalyst,
Yeah.
the Rogue One prequel book.
Yeah.
Really like that one. That's a good one.
I would suggest, and I did email back Matt Schwartzstrom, and I said, you got to try From a Certain Point of View. I think that's probably the best book to start off with because it's literally mini stories and they're all by different authors and narrators, and that's a good taste of getting some audible pleasure in your ears. Tatooine Sons, David, what do you got? What do you think?
I am a huge Claudia Gray fanatic. And so I love anything she does, but having just recently read Master and Apprentice, I think that one is a fantastic one,
That's a good one
for people to get into. So
yeah, get deep into prophecy.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. Great recommendation. So yeah, there you go, Matt. Just try those out. I mean, you can't go wrong. I think it definitely brings a little bit more flavor when you do an Audible book. Another one, we talked about this before in the show too, Ahsoka is really good if you're into Clone Wars, and Ashley does an excellent job of narrating it. So it's like you got Ahsoka with Ahsoka. It's kind of like a bang bang. So yeah, you can check that one out too. So.
Ooh, the other one is the Dooku Jedi Lost.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's cool though because it's not like a traditional audiobook where you have one narrator. There's different narrators, so you have the different voices, and it's almost like an audible play in a way.
It's a radio
it's so
play.
good.
Yeah, that's a good one. So literally there's a lot there, so, and that's just new canon, so there you go. All right, let's move on to Twitter Trash Compactor.
Get in there, you big polio! I don't care what you smell! Get in there, don't worry about it!
Okay, every week we are running those polls, and this last week is no exception. We're doing a little catch up here. So first one is, do you Star Wars cosplay? As whom? ? Please comment below. And we have 4 choices because that's all Twitter does. We can't edit, and we can only get 4 choices on Twitter. These are the shortcomings, I tell you. Okay, so first one is 501st, Rebel Legion, Mando Mercs, or other. Tatooine Sons, do you guys cosplay?
Well, this whole thing started with us cosplaying 2017, but sort of as a disaster. I came in just I purchased a Jedi costume from Amazon, and because the boys were going to dress up, but their names literally come from what they were wearing on stage with Anthony Daniels at the 40 Years of 3PO panel. So I'll let them tell what their cosplay choices are.
Yeah, so mine is a ridiculously large inflatable Jabba the Hutt costume that I can't walk in it. I have to shuffle. So it takes me
it's like those inflatable dinosaurs, but it's a Jabba the Hutt.
But my feet are basically tied together. So I'm just shuffling around the show floor and stuff. So that's fun.
And my choice was a giant inflatable BB-8. That one you can walk in. That one's a little bit better, but you can't sit in it.
But you should have seen him when he tried it on about a year after Star Wars Celebration 2017, and he had grown about 7 inches, and it was a child's costume, and he didn't fit it into it anymore.
It looked more like a football.
Yeah, it was like an egg. At some point. So BB Nate actually we had to order him one for Star Wars Celebration 2019 that was an adult size.
Actually, we didn't order just 1 or 2. We had to order 3 until they actually got it right.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah. But it was fun. That's our cosplay. That's our cosplay choice.
There you go. Well,
that's great.
That's awesome, Heather.
Yes.
You just recently you're double-headed. You're double-headed now.
I blew up the Star Wars world on last week's podcast, or the week before that. I don't know. But yeah, I am a droid stealing Jawa for the 501st and the Rebel Legion. But I have been known to do some Disney bounding throughout, the work week, because you can't just wear regular clothing. So
It's too boring.
too boring to wear normal clothing. So yeah, so I'll dabble in that a little bit too. So you would find me in that other column as well.
Yeah. Carla, what do you got? Like 10? What do you got?
I have my Jawa and my officer for the 501st. And then Rebel Legion. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait.
You got Jin?
Jin's finally done. I have Rey, Leia, and Jawa's both dual.
Yeah.
But I have the Slave Leia and the Senatorial Leia, and then Jakku Rey and Resistance Rey.
Wow.
Impressive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Sit down and take notes, people. Well, Twitter voted other. So there was quite a few 501st, 40%, but other was 48%. So there you go. So a lot people are out there cosplaying, which is awesome. And I think obviously with the Rise of Skywalker coming, we're going to have more, costumes to cosplay for. But it's always good, especially going to like a movie premiere or whatever. Always good to do some cosplay. So. And we just got a mail. I'm just saying we collectively, the 501st. Basically, you could be one of 100 people to attend the premiere if you just submit your costume, and you could be on the red carpet.
Wow.
So they won't flip the flight, but they'll pay for a hotel, and you get to see it early. So I mean, might as well, right? So
did you enter?
I have not yet, but I will. Yeah. Are you going to enter?
Well, I thought about it, and I wanted to, but just with like work and being in a school and everything, that's like the week leading up to winter break. So we're not allowed to extend our vacation.
Right. Yeah.
So I would definitely not get that approval to take off. So I was like, I'm not going to disappoint myself and enter.
Right. And then you get chosen. Like, oh, okay.
I'm like, I can't even go. So Mike entered though. So
gotta get to this movie premiere.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I'd be pretty mad if he got to go.
Dang it, why are you going as Kylo? I hate you. There you go. We also had one other poll, British influence. So last week we talked with Ones with the Force podcast all the way from the UK. And we asked, who is your favorite A New Hope British actor? So, of course, here's where the edit thing comes in. I spelled David Prowse's name wrong. I'm sorry, Twitter. I apologize. These things happen. But the four choices were Peter Cushing, David Prowse, Alec Guinness, Peter Mayhew. All right, I'm going to turn it over to BB Nate. What's your favorite A New Hope British actor right there?
Well, Peter Cushing, I'd have to say. Just because, yes, he was only in one movie, but he's had a very big impact on the Star Wars world. I mean,
he's a cool bad guy.
He is.
Yeah.
Even though he was just in one movie.
Yeah, there you go. Sam?
Ooh. I'd have to go with Peter Cushing as well. He stole it from me. I guess if I had to choose otherwise, it would be Peter Mayhew. Just because he portrayed Chewbacca so well. That it's a timeless character. So if it's not Peter Cushing, then it's Peter Mayhew.
There you go. David?
Oh, Sir Alec Guinness. I mean, his massive career before that, but then throw into the fact that he became such an iconic part of my childhood, growing up watching A New Hope and Empire and Return of the Jedi, and hopefully we'll be able to see another glimpse of him maybe somehow in the Rise of Skywalker. I would love to see him show up in some way, maybe a combined Ewan and Sir Alec Guinness role, like you did in the voiceover.
You want a Jedi Ghost background?
Oh, geez, yeah. Just give it to me. So
I know what you want. Yeah, exactly. Heather, what would you vote here?
It's a toughie.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go Peter Mayhew.
You can't go wrong there.
Yeah, to act through that much fur and just be a good sidekick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough gig.
It is a tough gig.
So that's my vote.
Carla, what do you got?
I'm gonna have to go with Peter Mayhew.
Oh,
He's
all right.
Chewy.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Chewy.
Everyone loves Chewie. Everyone wants to hug Chewie as well. Yeah. I would have to say Sir Alec Guinness for me too. I think Obi-Wan like anchors the whole thing, and he nails it. And obviously like Ewan kind of took the reins too, and it's just a fun character. But I won. Well, I didn't win, but Alec Guinness got 61%. That's what Twitter voted. So there you go. So again, every week we throw out those Twitter polls. So thanks for voting, and we'll continue to do that. So it's always fun to see what everybody thinks. All right, how about we go to our main topic?
And now for our feature presentation.
All right, guys, you are on the hot seat. Since you're a guest, why don't we just start with like a quick, how the heck did you get into Star Wars?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to let the story. I'm going to let the boys go first.
Okay. There you
so we'll start. We'll start youngest to oldest. Go, BB Nate.
There you go.
I wouldn't say forced into it. I would. I was kind of forced to watch the movies. And it wasn't around till Force Awakens until I got into Star Wars and I actually started like really enjoying it. I mean, I watched the movies, but I always thought that all of the 3 original trilogy movies were boring. But that's
You're not shining a
I've
good
done
light
so
on us, mate.
poorly raising sons.
That's 10-year-old me.
10-year-old you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was so like 2 years ago.
No. We're actually here. I remember making them for my birthday. Gosh, it would have been like 6 or 7 years ago. I made them watch the entire 6 movies before The Force Awakens back to back for, and so this was like, you're 6 years old and you're being forced in a living room for like, 14 hours or something crazy like that to watch these. No wonder they thought it was a little boring. So that was my fault. So,
yeah, I mean, we always enjoyed the movies and I always played Star Wars with my friends, but it was never a big deal until around Force Awakens when that first trailer dropped. I knew that we were gonna really get into this, and then Star Wars Celebration 2017 was a huge takeoff point for us. Being able to go on stage with Anthony Daniels. I mean, that was a once in a lifetime experience that really ushered us into this fandom.
Yeah, and I think that part of the experience of just being in Celebration for 4 days around a bunch of Star Wars fans and everybody having a great time talking, being in line for 5-6 hours at a time, talking with other fans and learning about their stories, that's what really brought them into it. For me, it was really simple. I mean, I was born in 1975, so I was probably a little too young.
Hey, we're the same age.
There we go. I cannot claim to have gone to any of the original trilogy in the theaters. Just because my family didn't go to movies, but
shame.
I know. My first time seeing A New Hope in the theater was the special edition, so it has a special place in my heart for me. But sitting there as a 4 or 5 year old kid, I think that HBO got the rights for Star Wars, and that was the biggest movie they had ever had on HBO when I was 5, and so it showed about 3 times a day. And I would literally just sit there and watch it over and over and over and over again. And then my friends all went to Empire without me, and I wasn't able to go. And so they kept the big reveal secret for me until it came out on on whatever cable or whatever. We watched it at their house, and they all sat there and watched me experience the big reveal, which is a really cool moment for that. And then Return of the Jedi, sneaking over to my friend's house and trying to sneak to the movie and getting caught with them and having to wait until it came out on VHS. But yeah, I was in love with Star Wars. I mean, the 3.5-inch figures and all that in my backyard. That's my childhood.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Awesome.
375, whatever.
That's awesome, guys.
That's great.
Great. All right. Well, we are on the precipice of the reveal of the Rise of Skywalker. I guess this would be the official trailer. So we're recording on Sunday, and So we're right before the hype train of everything that is happening with the Rise of Skywalker. We're in the end game here, guys. So the real question here is, can we survive the final release of the Skywalker saga?
No.
Because let's just set the record straight. 2017 was rough. It was rough. Not only for like Star Wars in general, but like being a fan of Star Wars. And then, there's this whole thing called Twitter that just kind of blew up when The Last Jedi revealed itself on the movie screen. So, David, I'm going to start with you. You're pretty vocal in the Twitter community.
I am.
How'd you get through 2017, man?
Well, it was an interesting experience because we started our podcast just 3 weeks before The Last Jedi came out, and we had no understanding of no experience at all with the toxic side of Star Wars fandom. And so we come into The Last Jedi completely excited about it. We have a great time at it. We go and see it like 10 times in the movie theater.
Wow.
and fall in love with this. This becomes one of our favorite Star Wars movies. And then suddenly we keep hearing people not only didn't like it, which was fine, but saying things that, and honestly, the boys, Sam and Nate, they aren't on Twitter. I don't let them on there because I don't want that to cloud their fandom that much. They see enough of it through other sources. And so it was a really interesting experience hearing the hate and then some YouTubers that we would watch before The Last Jedi that we were no longer able to watch after because of some of the things that they were saying and sort of the ugliness that were associated. Some podcasts that we had thought were pretty solid, family-friendly type podcasts that started saying some pretty ugly things about Kelly Marie Tran or supporting people that were. And so it was a really, really interesting first year for us in podcasting and for me being on Twitter with this. I think that we were really fortunate because our show, having Sam and Nate on there and being driven with a very sort of a positive, family-friendly presentation. The fandom that we attracted was pretty solid from that perspective. They were pretty positive. And then other shows and other people involved in Star Wars fandom that came alongside us to help us kind of get things going, they were as well. And so that put us in sort of a little safe space in a cocoon. But we've experienced it. Some of the ugliness that's on there. And it's actually allowed me as a father to talk with Sam and Nate about, how you have to conduct yourself as, it sounds weird because we're just stupid little podcasters,
right.
But as somebody that people are actually listening to the things that we say and paying attention to it, the things that we tweet or we share on Facebook, they matter. To some people. And so having to have conversations about that, who we interact with, what we say, what we like, what we retweet, all of that, it's opened up conversations about what is a responsible fandom when it comes to Star Wars. And it's actually been pretty fantastic to see that be a part of this experience for us. And lots of life lessons, which is what Star Wars ends up being all about. We sat there in 2017 at Celebration Orlando when George Lucas was on there on the 40th anniversary panel, and he was talking about this is for kids, this is for 12-year-olds. It's about teaching life lessons and mythologies and right and wrong and friendship and those types of things. And that's what this has been for us. And so if I could go back to before The Last Jedi and wave a magic wand of some sort and have everybody fall in love with it the way that we did, and none of this toxicity have happened over the last 2 years, I would. But at the same time, that's not real world. That's not the way that life works. Mm-hmm. And so it's allowed us to have some really, really interesting father-son conversations about the way that we conduct ourselves. It's been interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Great. Carla, how about you?
Well, I think it's interesting what Steve said about being responsible fans, because I see it in the light of being a 501st and Rebel Legion member. It's hard when you have your own opinions about these movies, but then when you're representing Lucasfilm and Disney directly when you're going to these events and everything, sometimes you kind of have to be careful with what you say. But I would say for me, I mean, as far as like the toxicity and, you know, all the negativity around it, I just kind of tried to just block it out. Like, I wasn't a fan of The Last Jedi. It's not my favorite. But for people to come out and attack, you know, the actresses and the actors about their role was just totally out of line. And, you know, I mean, I feel like you're not going to make anybody happy no matter what. You know, you can't. Somebody's going to say something about it regardless. And I think, you know, everyone just needs to take a step back and just let's chill a little bit, you know, like
on all sides.
Yeah,
right.
on all sides.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think, you know, having Solo in between, I mean, that didn't get the best reviews either. But I think that was because it came out so close to The Last Jedi and people were still so heated about that there was backlash about that movie. But I think now that we've had some time to kind of step back and be like, it's going to be okay, you know? But I'm excited to see, you know, episode 9, and I think J.J. Abrams is going to do a good job with wrapping it all up.
There you go.
I like it.
I'm going to turn this over to Sam and Nate. Like, so did you get this like in school? Like, was there a lot of Last Jedi hate happen in school or what?
You know, that's an interesting question because we're homeschooled, actually. So
okay.
Not only are we sheltered from Twitter, but we're sheltered from the world. No, I'm kidding. There was a
lot of positivity around The Last Jedi at our school.
That's it. Yeah, that's true.
No, but we're not entirely, you know,
cut off
from it. Yeah, I mean, we go to church and we go to homeschool groups and things like that, and we saw some of it, but it was never crazy toxic. You know, there were kids who disliked the movie. I think, Nate, you've got a kid in your school right now who really dislikes The Last Jedi. But it's usually, we've noticed, it's just kind of like for the same reasons as everyone else. It almost, I don't want to speak for them, and I don't want to, you know, sound the wrong way, but it almost sounds like they're doing it to be cool, air quotes, you know, just because it's the thing to do. You hate The Last Jedi, you know, that's what everyone does. So I find it unfortunate that the Last Jedi got that rap or whatever, that, you know, you have to hate it, otherwise you're not a Star Wars fan, because it's a really good movie in our opinion, if you give it a chance. So I feel like it's kind of,
not that you didn't give it a chance, Carla. No. we believe you did. Okay.
I mean, again, everyone can have opinions, you know, that's totally fine. It's just, I wish that there wasn't so much negativity behind it so that other people could get into it.
Yeah, every time I ask that kid why he didn't like The Last Jedi, he always comes back with a new answer. The most recent one was...
Right. This is what's trending on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Right.
What's it?
And so the most recent one was, I asked, why did you not like it? What is your answer? He's like, it was too different. I'm like, so, and he's like, I didn't like The Force Awakens either. I'm like, why didn't you like that one? And he's like,
it's too much.
It was too much like A New Hope. So I'm like, wait, you're saying that you didn't like Last Jedi because it wasn't like the old movies, but you didn't like Force Awakens because it was too much like the old movies. And he's like, yeah. I'm like,
okay. But here's the other thing that we've noticed. You know, there's a different approach towards a conversation around a movie that is as controversial as The Last Jedi is among fandom, when you're actually looking people eye to eye, when you're sitting in the same rooms with them, when you're at Celebration and you're having a conversation with someone that didn't like The Last Jedi, and you're waiting in line and you can talk about it, and people tend to be much more civil and understanding and kind, and you can actually have a real conversation about the movie instead of what happens in 140 or 280 character sound bites locked behind a computer. And I think that's where fandom, as far as social media goes, I think YouTube is an animal, you know, for itself, in the way that goes. But as far as conversation around it goes, I feel like the reason that they haven't experienced some of this is because their conversations about The Last Jedi have always been offline. They've been around people. And I think that that's actually, from our perspective, what's going to fix fandom is having more of those conversations around getting face to face with other people and just talking about it.
There you go. Heather, what say you?
Yeah. I'm in all right, let's just call it what it is, people. I'm a Pollyanna. I'm a Hufflepuff. I am all for just keeping the peace. I am some people like stormtroopers. Some people like Ewoks. Some people are the light side. Some people are the dark side, people. I don't care what it is that got you into Star Wars, but you're in the community now. So let's all just play nice with one another. Not necessarily like full-on kumbaya moments around the campfire.
Right.
I liked The Last Jedi. Is it my favorite Star Wars movie? No. Is it part of my overall collection? Yes, because if you're going to have a movie collection, you have to have all the movies.
Not according to Twitter, Heather.
Well, guess what? That's not how the world works. Anyway, and I think what everyone is saying is they just took it to this level because it's safer to say things online than it is to a human being face to face. And I think the minute you start, and I've been very vocal about this before, it's okay if you don't like the art, but please don't be mean to the artist. Just what happened with Kelly and, other decision makers or what have you, just don't go there. It's just not worth it. And I think if you watch the documentary with Rian Johnson, you're going to see Rian cared about the film and he did what his heart told him to do. And I think that's what JJ did. And I think that's what George is doing. And as Carla put it, when we put on a garb and represent the films through Lucas or Disney, that's what we're doing, is we're sharing our love of the bigger universe with the world. So let's share the love of the universe as opposed to nitpick the person who forgot to mow their lawn, and now we're upset at the whole town.
Heather, he flipped the lightsaber behind his back. That's what.
Let's not go there.
I'm just
only thing I would change about the entire Last Jedi when people ask me is that one moment.
Right,
so.
Yeah. Well, that's where it all went downhill.
Yeah.
I'll just, we got to be honest here. Like, so we had a breakup. We had a boy band breakup. Basically, two of our fellow podcasters, Rutch and Armand, did not like Last Jedi and decided, you know what, it's time to walk away because we just don't like where the direction of Star Wars is going. So we respected that and just said, okay, we understand, but that we like our podcast kind of really was representing what was happening on kind of Twitter and, socials and just saying, hey, just don't like it. We're like, okay, that's fine, and we have to respect that. But it was interesting. It was rough, man. We're just like, what is happening here? And it is kind of hard to realize, like, it is just a movie, guys, and there's other things going on. But I think Star Wars does a wonderful job of not only reflecting what the real world is going on, and I think we can learn from it. There's a lot of life lessons in Star Wars. That's why Star Wars is deep, and we're still talking about it like, a long time after, 77 happened. So 40 years plus. So I think it's important that we treat people with respect and value those opinions. But again, it's just like, it doesn't have to get to the point where it's one or the other, So I think that's kind of where it's cool to kind of hate Star Wars, I thought, in 2017. And David could attest to this as well. I mean, this kind of happened in the prequels too, like human history kind of repeats itself. And so it was cool to hate Jar Jar back in 99. So just, yeah. So, and now, like, 20 some years later, Armand Best is everyone loves Jar Jar. So it's just like, I don't know, maybe 20 years from now, somebody will love Rose, I guess. I don't know. So.
But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's that little girl who connected with what Rose looked like. Like, I have a place in the Star Wars world.
Right.
There's that little kid who saw the kid at the end with the broom and be like, whoa, maybe I can be part of this world too.
Right.
That's what Star Wars is, people.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Off soapbox.
And sitting down. Okay. So, all right. So the second follow-up is to this question really is like, okay, how is JJ going to land the plane and get everybody off safely and be happy? So let's start with Sam. I guess it's kind of like, it's like, what do you expect from the trailer, and what do you expect? How do you expect JJ to land the plane and go?
Jeez. I have said multiple times on the podcast while we're discussing theories and ideas that I am so glad I am not in J.J. Abrams' shoes. Just to be able to please both sides, it seems like an impossible task. Anyway, what do I want from the trailer? I want a lot of new footage. I'm sure we'll get that. I want Kylo. I want to see more Kylo in the Knights of Ren. I want to see a little bit of Zori Bliss, see where he goes with that. And then I want some sort of twist at the end, because both trailers, or I guess you had the trailer and then like the sizzle reel, both trailers had a huge twist at the end. You had the Emperor, the first one, obviously, and then the second one you had Dark Rey. So I'm not sure what I would want from this third trailer. I'm hoping it's something that like no one is expecting. But, I guess a way for JJ to unite the fandom is actually kind of through the Emperor. Seeing as he is a character who is present throughout all the trilogies so far, except he's not been super present in the sequel trilogy, obviously. But I'm sure I'm sure we'll see how he was behind the scenes in this next film. But he was the bad guy in the prequels, and he was the bad guy in the trilogy, in the original trilogy. And I think that it's brilliant that JJ is bringing him in, because it's a character that pretty much everyone likes. Nobody dislikes the Emperor. So I think it's a brilliant way to unite the fandom.
Okay. All right. BB Nate, what say you?
Well, yeah. I don't think that everybody is going to like the Rise of Skywalker. If they are a toxic fan of The Last Jedi, I feel like,
or of Star Wars,
of Star Wars, just period, they won't change their minds after Rise of Skywalker, because that's what they feel like. They've done that for years now. But
not the toxic fans. We know nobody's going to change their minds if they're from that community. But there's people like Carla and people like that don't like, or not their biggest fans of The Last Jedi. What can JJ do with them?
I feel like the Emperor would be a very good way, but I feel like this movie, just judging by what we have seen from the trailers with the Dark Rey at the end of the sizzle reel, that right there could bring in some people that say liked the dark side. There you go. There's your Dark Rey, so you can have that. I feel like this movie is going to be really off the charts. I feel like it's going to be strange.
Strange.
You thought Last Jedi was strange. I feel like this one's going to go all into the Force and what its capabilities are. And I feel like that might bring in some more fans as well, and just the Emperor himself.
There you go. All right. Dave, how about you, man?
I think that, Kathleen Kennedy comes to J.J. Abrams a couple of years ago and says, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is you get to direct the last film in the Skywalker saga. And the bad news is you get to direct the last film in the Skywalker saga. And then, you add to that, it's cool that we get the final the final trailer on Carrie Fisher's birthday, but that was a curveball that none of us could have anticipated or even what he had to do in order to try to figure out how to make this movie work. What do I want from the trailer?
You want Jedi Force Ghost?
I do kind of want Jedi, Force Ghost to Palooza to happen, but that's just my fandom, my geekdom kicking in with that. In the trailer, if you can see something Vader or something Anakin, I think that's going to bring in a lot of people wanting to find out what that's all about. Very similar to the way that everybody reacted at Celebration when you hear Sidious's or Palpatine's laugh at the end.
Yeah,
I think that could be a really interesting thing I'd like to see. I've been reading online today that that traditionally they released the poster the day before this teaser or this trailer, and they aren't doing that this time apparently. So maybe there's something happening in it that we haven't expected. Character that's showing up. I'd love to see.
It's going to be Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing to unite the fandom. Although that moment at the 20th anniversary of the Phantom Menace panel when he came out on stage was pretty uniting with that. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Right? Yeah.
I'd love to see some Anakin or something. Maybe Kenobi. As far as JJ bringing, and of course any other Force ghost that you want to throw there.
Right. Just throw them all
Luke,
in.
Mace. We can
Qui-Gon.
put Qui-Gon. We'll do it all. JJ uniting fandom is it's not going to happen. Okay, let's just there's fandom is so divided, it doesn't matter if he swings too far to one side. With the fan service, you're going to have a lot of people that were huge fans of what happened with the Last Jedi that are going to be pretty upset about that. So he can, and really, when I was taught growing up that if you try to please everybody, you're going to please nobody. And so they've got a storyline that I think is carrying itself through all three of these movies that they want to finish, and they're going to execute it to the best of their ability. It's apparently going to be a very satisfying ending from what everybody involved has said. That's the word that they're told to say, apparently satisfying with it. Chris Terrio, when he a couple weeks ago said there's two big questions that they want to answer, I think that's pretty interesting. The first one being really, who is Rey? Which it's, if you're a big fan of The Last Jedi, then that question was answered for you. She's nobody. So for me as a Last Jedi fanatic, and like I say on our Twitter, we're Last Jedi apologists, that makes me nervous. Where are they going to go with that? But I'm excited to see how they execute that. And then, of course, how powerful is the Force? If they can find some way to bring that in and answer those two questions, I think that's the best shot that they can have in order to unite fandom.
There you go. Wow. There you go. All right, Carla, what say you? What's your thoughts?
So it's funny. My mom actually shared a Entertainment Weekly post on my Facebook, and it was, quote, J.J. Abrams, we're not screwing around with this last movie. I think he has a lot on his plate. He was never expecting to direct this last movie. I think I remember when they gave him episode 7, they wanted him to do all 3. And he said, you know what? No, I just want a piece of the cake. I don't want the whole thing. Just give me this little bit and I'm good. So I think to give it back to him, he was kind of caught off guard, especially after all the backlash from The Last Jedi, all right, I kind of have to wrap this all up, but then make everybody happy. And I don't think that's going to happen because, again, you can't please everyone. But I'm just trying to go in without expectations because I think that was also a big problem with The Last Jedi. Too many theories about, what was going to happen and who was who and, all that hoopla. So I think going in with kind of clean slate, just letting it be what it is and taking it for what it is. And again, it's theirs, it's in their hands. They're the writers. He's the director. We're not,
Right. Yeah.
It's who am I to say, oh, you didn't do this right. And you do, again, it's okay to have an opinion and to critique. But again, going back to attacking, like Heather said, attacking these directors and artists and photographers and all of that. It's, you just got to take it for what it is. And Todd, I know you always say any Star Wars is good Star Wars.
That's right.
So
That's right. Yeah.
I think just going in, with positive mindset and I don't know. I'm nervous, but it's a good nervous. So
there you go.
I'm just hoping it doesn't end up being like a Game of Thrones ending because I was not happy with that. I was like, but I'm excited, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see this trailer.
Yeah,
I'm pumped. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Heather. I know. Yeah, we're me and you are going to close this thing. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
the things that intrigued me the most from the first trailer that I would love to see expanded, but they probably won't because they're going to save it for the film. But even if they showed it in the trailer, I'll still pay the money to see the film. So I'm just going to put that out there. Is I am intrigued by the viewing of the Death Star and how that comes back in, which then connects to this whole idea that we talked about however many episodes ago with Kylo and the helmet and the Force being captured within objects and what that looks like. I would love to see more of that. I think one of the reasons I love Kylo so much, and I think I said this shortly after The Force Awakens and we were introduced to him, is he's just a kid and he needs counseling and he needs a hug. And I think the internal battle in his head is what intrigues me most about him. So I would love to see a little bit more of that. In the trailer, whatever. My good classics. I'm good with anything droid related, anything fuzzy. I'm pretty good with too.
You get both of that with Bobo Frick and Dio, man.
Bobo Frick. I mean, I'm already winning. But no, I think, I'm excited to see where some of these classic parts come back in. So whether that is it just the Death Star location component? Is it, as David was saying, like with Force Ghosts? Because as we know, you're guided by the people around you. It's not just a you thing. It's not just the books in the tree that catches on fire. It's bigger than that. It is a community. Okay. I know. I'll always take Yoda. That's never a bad thing in my book. But so yeah, but that's kind of, those are the big pieces for me, I think, is where Kylo goes. I've always been team go bad in evil Kylo. I don't want him to be redeemed. Right. It's too easy. But then funny enough, I don't want Rey to go bad, so I don't know anything.
Okay. Well,
and we forgot to mention, I mean, of course we want to see Turbis the Porg, but the odds of that happening are going to be pretty slim. So
yeah, I mean, actually that's what's going to be on the trailer. It's just going to say Turbis the Porg at the end.
Yeah, Turbis is canon. So
there we go. Exactly. So for the trailer, I don't think they're going to show too much, maybe a couple more shots, but this movie's going to have a lot of bags of tricks. They're going to pull out a lot, and so I wouldn't be surprised if they show the Emperor or at least a cowl or something like that at the end. I think that's something, a trailer is, these are events now. These are not just like, oh, come to movies. It's like, oh, this is what we're going to do at halftime at a football game that nobody wants to watch, but we're going to watch this one. So I think it's going to be big because they want the buzz. They want the buzz going into December. So something, again, we've had the Emperor show up, we've had Dark Rey, and something big. So it could be Anakin. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot more surprises, even if they did show Anakin. So for me, for landing the plane, I think it's going to be fine. I mean, you put John Williams' score on there, I'm going to be all right, and I'm going to be crying at the end, and it's going to be the longest Star Wars movie. But I really, Kylo is the best character out of the sequel trilogy, and I think there is going to be redemption. I think there's going to be a sacrifice, and I think he's coming back to life, and that's my take. That's my take. I feel like he's going to kind of go bad, but then he's going to sacrifice himself for Rey, and then he's coming back to life in the Force, and he's going because he's a Skywalker. So that's kind of my take on it. But I think it's going to be everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine here. It's going to be. I think it's going to be good. So we shall see. We shall see. So any final thoughts, guys? Like how are we going to survive? 2020. Is hindsight going to be 2020 or in 2020, or what do you think? Any closing thoughts?
Well, I think that the reality is that the break between Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, and the next movie is actually going to be really important. what they do on Disney Plus with the Mandalorian, Cassian series, Kenobi series. We're not going to be lacking any Star Wars content. We're probably going to be getting more Star Wars content in a shorter period of time than we've ever dreamed with all of those series, but no movie during that time. And that's going to give, I think Favreau and Filoni have been tasked with The Mandalorian. And from what everybody that saw those 30 minutes yesterday has been saying, it seems amazing. I think that they have their finger really squarely on the pulse of both sort of iterations of fandom, sort of the classic fandom with Favreau and the way that he views it, and Filoni with sort of the crazy Force stuff from the Clone Wars and everything else. The two of them coming together to work on things is going to actually steer the ship in the right direction. I think that this 3-year period or so is going to be really important, and I think it's going to help a lot.
There you go. Awesome. Great. Heather.
I guess I'm just going to end it the way Heather would end it, and that's 40 years have passed since the first film. The world in filmmaking has changed a lot in 40 years. So let's just go into it kind of like Carla said. Don't put your own expectations on it. Kind of just go in, enjoy the film, enjoy the ending, enjoy the saga. And if you have an opinion, please just be respectful.
There you go. I don't think we can end it better than that. So, Heather, why don't we go to news of the week?
News of the week.
And now, the Star Wars news of the week.
All right, people. Comicbook.com. The Mandalorian. We all know it's coming. We knew it was coming to Disney Plus. We knew Disney Plus was coming in November. Well, officially launching November 12th. Okay, great. But wait. We now have details about how many episodes are going to air and how regularly they're going to debut. Or how regularly they were going to debut was unknown. But thanks to the world of magic, aka Disney, we now have dates, people. We have dates. So,
mark your calendars.
Yeah. Write this down.
Write this down, people. I'll go as slow but as quickly as I need to.
Right.
We've got 8 episodes. Obviously launching November 12th with episode 1. With episode 2 coming right after that on the 15th. So they're going to hook you in, and then they're going to sink it in on the 15th. Episode 3 coming on the 22nd. Episode 4 on the 29th. 5 is December 6th. The 6th is the 13th. The 7th is the 18th. And the 8th episode is December 27th. So your holiday viewing schedule is right there, people.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what else to say. This is what you're doing for the rest of your lives, is watching the
at least November, December. Yeah.
At least November, December. So those are your dates, people.
There you go. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
But
I dig it. I'm glad that they're doing it week by week and not all at once.
Yes.
Like a Netflix binge. I don't know. I think it's more interesting when you have that time in between to talk about it and, kind of speculate what's going to come next week. I don't know. I was never into the, let me watch it all at once,
Right. Yeah. Well, Stranger Things is a great example. Great show, but people literally sat up and wait till Netflix dropped it at midnight and then stayed up all night and watched it and it's done, So it's I like to consume it slowly, and obviously from a podcasting perspective, it'd be so hard to be oh, I literally have to sit up and watch all these episodes so we could talk about it because everyone's going to be talking about it. And it gives, like you said, Carla, it gives space. It just gives a little space. So
And it's going to be a lot more fun, as fans, having that break between episodes to talk about it and speculate. That's the one thing you don't get when you binge watch things like Stranger Things, is you don't get the opportunity to talk about what happened in the last episode and really think about it, because everybody's already seen the next one. And so there's no speculation, which is what's, when it's done responsibly, it can be a lot of fun in Star Wars fandom. So, and I love the fact that it's Friday nights. I don't know why, but it just seems cool to me. We get the first one on the 12th because they have to have it when Disney Plus drops. But from that point forward, it's every Friday night. It's appointment watching for us, and then I'm sure we'll wake up the next morning and record a podcast about it or something. So.
Hey guys, what are we gonna do? We're gonna talk about Mandalorian tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah. Sam, are you excited for Mandalorian?
Oh, I'm totally pumped. As soon as I heard about this, I was all in. I remember. We got not to flex or brag or anything, but we were on a tour through Lucasfilm or through the Lucasfilm headquarters by Matt Martin, and we just got in the lobby and he's talking with us and he's like, "So you guys excited for the Mandalorian?" And I'm like, "It's the wallpaper on my phone." I'm like, "Yes, I'm excited for the Mandalorian." I'm absolutely pumped. I'm happy that they've got 2 within 1 week of each other at the beginning. That way, I don't have to wait as long. But yeah, I agree with, what's been said before in that it's going to be a lot more fun with the space in there.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, this is our first live action Star Wars television show. It's ridiculous. I was at Celebration 3 when George said that he was already scripting and working on live action, and that never happened. So he's like, we have all these scripts and I'm sure they're somewhere in the vault, but it's pretty interesting that, now it's 2019 and it's finally going to happen. And obviously TV has done so much since Netflix and, kind of these cool episodic things like Breaking Bad and, Game of Thrones and all these kind of shows. Like, it makes it more, TV is like, it makes it more chunky, and that's like super awesome that like you can digest these things a little bit. And yeah, it's gonna be great, I think. Carla, what's up next? What we got?
All right, so more on The Mandalorian. This comes from screenrant.com. So yesterday, a couple of members of the press got a little sneak peek, about 30 minutes of running time from the upcoming live show. So it's kind of the litmus test for the live action TV shows. We have the Cassian Andor prequel coming up also, and the Obi-Wan Kenobi series as well. But according to the members of the press, The Mandalorian is getting some very positive reviews. There are some tweets that went out. One comes from Mansoor, and oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher his last name, Mithaiwala. I think that's
okay. It's
works
okay
for me.
Yeah.
Saw almost 30 minutes of the Mandalorian footage this morning. It's truly incredible. It looks like the films feels innately Star Wars, introduces new concepts, and adds layers that people have been waiting to see for a long time. And then the other tweet comes from Ash Crossan. Just watched 27 minutes of Mandalorian footage and legit cried. So
there you go. That's all we have to say.
That's it.
That's right.
So it's sounding promising, people.
Yeah. If she legit crying, then I'm probably going to join her.
Totally.
Yeah, but I think like everything that we just said, I mean, it's just something that we haven't seen. It's Star Wars. It's going to be on TV. It's going to be weird, and it's going to be awesome. And they get to kind of expand it. And then, did you guys go to the panel at Chicago for Mandalorian?
Yeah, we did. Absolutely. It was amazing.
Yeah. That panel was like, when I saw that, and I was just like, okay, I'm good. I'm literally more excited than Rise of Skywalker. But it's going to be great. it's going to be.
You guys got that VIP footage that everybody else didn't.
Yeah, we got that VIP.
That's
footage.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike and I were driving home. We were on the way back, and I had it streaming on the phone. And we were like, ooh, this is it. We get to see it. And then they're like, oh, yeah, all the people that are live streaming, we'll see you in like 5 minutes. I'm like, are you serious? Man, way to leave us out.
Yeah, we're getting blacked out, you know? Yeah, I remember because like Aaron and his brother were coming late and they couldn't make the panel. And so when we met up after panel, I just shook my head. I just said, dude.
Bruh.
Let me tell you something. It's gonna be great. So yeah, even just seeing that, and obviously it's on YouTube now, but just everything about it, I'm like, yep, this is Star Wars, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be on TV, and I'm set. So, okay, last but not least, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the final preview. So here's the other thing that's going on. Mando's dropping 12th, Fallen Order's dropping the 15th, plus Mando, episode 2, November 15th. It's going to be a good day.
I'm going to have to take that entire week off work.
I legit took the day off, so it's going to be a great day. So I know Aaron's not here, but me and him are hungering for a good game for a long time. It's been a while. So, and literally this is how the article starts. This is from IGN.com. I spare you the history lesson, but Star Wars fans are looking for a lengthy single-player Star Wars game, or really even finished, released, and not canceled single-player game that haven't exactly had the most satisfying decade. So he kind of goes into this, but again, it just goes one that has no multiplayer, no microtransactions, or loot crates, or season passes. Really, seriously, Jedi Fallen Order is a real, actual single-player Star Wars video game that I have actually played extensively, and it actually is coming out soon. A New Hope indeed. So how does it play? So he kind of goes, he gets it. Basically, at the end of the day, it's, I'm going to go down further in the article, and basically says, sorely needed in 2019, a legit single-player Star Wars game. Fallen Order takes all these things and talks about all these kind of different games that it has influences on, and it gives it a little Star Wars spin on them, letting you get wild in a massive, sprawling, intricately woven environments rife with secrets, collectibles, unlockable shortcuts, branching paths, and dangerous enemies. So yeah, it's going to be good. Sam, what do you think about this?
Yeah, no, again, I'm going to say this for everything, but, I'm really excited for this. It's good. It looks good. I'm excited. No, honestly, I am really excited for this. One of the games that Nathan and I were really into was the Force Unleashed game. I mean, we had played that thing over and over again. I knew all the ins and outs and everything. I loved it. And from what I've seen in this game is it looks very similar to it, which, just right off the bat, that gets me excited. But then to know that the story is going to be canon and is going to apply to the larger story, I mean, I'm all in. Like, take my money. So I'm totally pumped for this.
There you go. BB Nate, what about you, man?
I'm very excited. I think I'm more excited for this than Mandalorian, just because.
What?
I've heard a lot about this game.
Blasphemy.
And I've heard that it is going to have a linear storyline, but it is going to also be free play during that time as well. Like early in the game, around when you begin, you're able to go to the most dangerous planet there, with most enemies, most environmental dangers, so that you can just go and play if you want to. It's passable for your early stages, but it's very difficult. And I just like the idea that it's going to be your own Star Wars game. Force Unleashed was, yes, amazing. I felt like that Force Unleashed, the missions were kind of all over the place, and I felt like it kind of got repetitive. So I hope that they don't do that with Fallen Order.
Yeah, cool. So you guys are gonna be fighting over it, basically.
No, I don't think so. We've got a pretty.
They've got a system.
Yeah,
they got a system.
While I'm at school, Nathan finishes his school early and then gets to play a game. And then when I get back, it works. We got it worked out.
Good. All right. As long as you got a schedule, Dad doesn't have to break it up. Be like,
that's Mom's job. That's not Dad's job.
No, Mom's breaking up all three.
That's it. That's it.
Are we going to get anything done today? We are. We're exploring Star Wars, man.
That's right. This is show research. That's what our excuse is for everything we do right now. We've got a podcast we have to do. So.
Oh my gosh.
Carla, are you a gamer?
I would say yes, a little bit.
More than me.
I play Battlefront here and there. Okay. I have some other games on my PlayStation. But I'll probably wait till it comes out and get some feedback from friends and other people who pick it up before I buy it, because I'm a little skeptical. But I mean, just from what I've seen from the previews and the trailers, I mean, the graphics look great. The gameplay itself looks pretty cool. The lightsaber fighting and all of that. But I'm glad that they're not, again, throwing in the multiplayer and the microtransactions, because I think people were really angry about that,
don't make Bob angry again. Bob was mad.
So I'm curious to see how it's gonna turn out.
I mean, it's just so much Star Wars content coming at us, and it's gonna be crazy.
Overload.
It's overload. All right, Heather, what's up next?
My favorite part, Cantina Chat. I'll stop.
That's good. Yeah, stop.
And done. All right. Well, Aaron is not here, but I'm sure he's doing his role-playing game and all that good stuff. So we'll have a 30-minute update with him at some point, I'm sure. All right. So, David, how has your week been? Has it been geeky?
Let's see. Yeah, but just in a normal way. I train salespeople, and I had a new class of people that came in, and it was a really cool week for me because half of my class were Star Wars freaks, and they noticed my Star Wars bow ties and my Star Wars socks that I wear to work all the time, and we sat around and debated The Last Jedi.
There you go.
And so
Nice.
Instead of training them on how to sell the product and make money and earn a living, we talked Star Wars. So that was I guess that was my geeky week. So yeah,
it was time well spent, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that works for me.
I use Star Wars as illustrations in just about everything I do anyway, so it was good. Yeah.
Excellent. Sam?
Yes. Geez. Well, I mean, it's been busy, with school and everything. I guess it hasn't been any nerdier than usual. I guess a new thing that happened this week is, and this is probably going to make a lot of people cringe, but I got back into Fortnite again.
After the black hole or before the black hole?
After the black hole. I dropped out of...
It worked!
Yeah. I dropped out of Fortnite months ago because I did not like where they were going with it. And with this new update, I'm back in... They got me again, but, I'm having fun with it, so...
There you go.
Excellent. Nate?
Well, I've been binge watching the 2007 Teen Titans series a lot.
Dude,
nice. I'm really enjoying it. But I'm in season 3 and I'm trying to get through it. There's just a lot to do and a busy schedule.
Understandable. Yeah. Carla?
Yes.
Anything exciting?
Nothing super geeky, but Michael and I just moved into our apartment last weekend. So it's been a little... Thank you. It's been a little hectic though, but we got everything in, furniture's all together. So we're settling now. So now it's just putting up, the little decorations. Right. And I guess that's where
put this pop vinyl near that pop vinyl.
where the autograph's gonna hang up. All that
Exactly.
stuff.
Where do we put all our costumes?
Yeah, right.
Right.
You have no idea, dude. Like,
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
do,
where
dude.
is all this gonna go? I'm like freaking out. He's like, relax. I'm like, we have so many bins. What are we gonna do? But you know, it's been good though. So we're excited. And I did a troop yesterday, Light the Night for Lymphoma and Leukemia Society.
Cool.
Nice.
So I went with my officer for once.
Oh,
Instead of Leia. But yeah, it was good. Good turnout. It's always good throwing a troop in here and there. So
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Heather, what about you?
Yeah, so I've been traveling for work recently, so life kind of stopped because you have to adult every so often. But
The worst.
I don't know. But it was fun because you get to go to a different state, and I mean, not that this is new information to anybody, but it's just fun when you go places and you see people wearing like a Star Wars T-shirt, and you're like, "Hey, what's up?" Like you're just instantly like friends. Like you don't know me
Until you
We'll
say the
never
3
talk.
words, "The Last Jedi," and then
Well, right,
then everything divides immediately.
Right.
So
Yeah.
no.
But that was kind of where my life has been. But I've been listening to the Ahsoka book with Ashley and learning to say her name properly.
Yeah, Asaka.
Saga from Chicago. It's bad, people. So I'm just over halfway through that, so that's been going really well. And then today we're recording. So a week from today's recording, folks, I will be doing my official second troop.
yay!
So that'll be exciting as a Jawa. Yeah, so I'm just getting into this lifestyle, making people happy and stealing droids.
Right. This cosplay thing, man.
It's good. I recommend it. So, Todd,
Coordinating this Rise of Skywalker mess. Like, all right, who's coming? Who's going? Like, who's on first? What theater we're going to see it at? You know, because it's been, you know, about 3 weeks. We're like, oh, it's coming. Oh, John Boyega's agent said it's coming this week. I'm like, they're not going to drop anything without a little buzz. Don't, you know, and we kind of talked about this for the last couple of weeks. It's got to be on Carrie's birthday. It's just got to be. And so, on Carrie's birthday. So, yeah, just been kind of coordinating with the guys, like, hey, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go see it? You know, we were trying to coordinate too, like, hey, when are we going to go see it together? It's just, these are plans, people, you know. So yeah, I'm super kind of stoked about that. So it's been my life.
All right. So hopefully by the time you hear this recording, you will have purchased your tickets with your friends and family.
You're right. The internet won't break down. Like, you'll get your tickets, and Fandango and all the other ones won't, you know, destroy. All the servers won't go up. And...
Right. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Make no promises. All right. Well, if everybody's ready, I'm going to put a cherry on top of the podcast. Thank you again for listening to another episode of WSTR Galactic Public Access. Again, check us out on our social media. That's where all the crazy happens. That is WSTR Media. It's all lowercase. It's all one word. And we always want to hear from you. So you can comment, and you can tweet us, you can rate us on the Apple Podcast, or email us like my good friend Matt did at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. Or leave us a voicemail, 630-557-WSTR, 630-557-9787. You leave us the voicemail, we'll put it on the podcast, and everyone will hear your beautiful voice. And of course, check out our back catalog of episodes, because if you love us on this episode, you're going to love us on all the other episodes. And that's podcast. Obviously. Podcast.wstrmedia.com. And then we got merch, because what is Star Wars without a little merch? And that's at store.wstrmedia.com. And hey, I know we teased this earlier, but it's still true. We are now on Patreon. So patreon.com/WSTR WSTR Media.
Carla broke the budget, so that's
That's not true. Don't make her feel bad, Todd.
just throwing it out there.
Carla's here because I apparently can't control these two men on my own.
Now it all makes sense.
Gotta reel them in.
Hey, it's all about balance.
That's
you know?
it.
That's right. We're bringing balance to the force, people. Oh, man. All right, Tatooine Sons, where can we find you guys on the social medias?
Yeah, I mean, we're all over. Let's see, what do we always say? It's we're on we're all over Twitter. We're all over Facebook a lot more than we used to be. We sometimes post something occasionally on Instagram if we feel like it, and we think about it. I don't know how to do Snapchat, so we're not on that. And then I guess you can always find us on Tatooine Sons. That's SONS.com. And then when you're looking for us on social, it's always at Tatooine Sons, SONS.
Not SUNS.
Not SUNS. No, it's a play on.
Okay.
It's a play on words. You know, like sons.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So,
Two sons. Two sons.
Yeah.
It's clever. It's clever.
Thanks. It was Sam's
All
idea.
right.
So.
Oh. Hey, guys. Looks like we're partnering with Scarif Scuttlebutt Podcast for a live event.
Ooh.
On Sunday, November 17th here at Alley Cat Comics. And that is located in the Andersonville neighborhood off of Clark Street in Chicago for us local listeners. So if you guys want to be part of the live podcast mega event, come on down. We're going to be hanging out with followers and fans of both Scarif Podcast as well as WSTR. And then we're going to hang out with senior artists from ILM, Yoshi Vu, which is just a great name to say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
He's
that
flying
up
in, and he's doing Mandalorian and the Rise of Skywalker. No big deal.
No big deal. NBD, as the kids are saying.
Right.
I don't know what the kids say.
We would have to turn that to Sam and Nate to tell us.
They're
Is that a real-
homeschoolers. They're homeschoolers. They don't know what kids say
They don't know.
either. So,
Right. They just keep on saying all the stuff that Dad says.
That's exactly right. Till they get into public and they're like, I should never say that again. Okay.
I can check in with my middle schoolers.
There you
It
go.
work.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Oh, man.
Speaking about Fortnite, okay, this is funny. I'm sure you heard this, Sam, but Lady Gaga the other night said, "What is Fortnite?"
Yeah, I saw that. Some of the comments were pretty great.
Yeah. And everyone was saying this is the best tweet of 2019 because not only she didn't spell it right, she spelled it like a fortnight, not like Fortnite. So she was already losing when she sent that.
Oh, man. All right. Well, next week's episode 146, is going to be scary because we're talking about monsters.
We got to talk about monsters. It's like literally close to Halloween. We have to talk about those Star Wars monsters,
Lock your doors.
Yeah. Put that baby Rancor in the basement.
Just do what you got to do, people. All right. Well, Tatooine Sons, we have a very special way of ending our podcast. If you know it, join us. If you don't, just go along for the ride.
It doesn't matter.
We can't nail it anytime, so it's all good. That's why it's fun.
Yeah. So even if you do it like right after us, it'll all still make sense.
Yeah.
All right. If you're ready, join me. Now
This
is
We did it.
That was good.
That was really good, I feel like.